Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Kingdom Hearts. In the last episode, I don't remember what we did because it's been so long. This is a post-commentary, guys. The actual live commentary that I had during this video, I kind of scrapped because this video became too long and it was too monotonous. So what I'm going to do instead is actually I have a big rant, to be honest, like explaining that everything that's been going on in the past couple of weeks. First thing you want to notice here is Neverland is to notice that we have two options to go to the hold or the cabin, but there's no option to go to the clock tower like there was before. I wonder why. So what we do is, well, what I'm doing here is I'm changing my customization to keep some spells on quick access. Now then, in a while I'm going to be like giving you my rant that I recorded earlier this morning at like 3 in the morning. So that'll happen while this next battle is happening. So you talk to Tinkerbell here in the corner and you can't understand what she's saying without Peter Pan in your party. So what I choose to do is replace Donald with Peter Pan. And I do that for a reason, because the fight we're going to be getting into requires Peter to get there, and requires Goofy's MP gift ability. You want to make sure that he has that, and you want to make sure that he's in your party with that, and with no other abilities as well. You can see I'm here checking all that off. And stuff that I do later, well, I'll talk about what I do later. So this is all in preparation for a secret boss that we're about to fight. I guess I shouldn't... Spoilers, I guess, but like it's going to happen in a few minutes. So you go, you talk to Tinkerbell, and it's like, do you want to go to a clock tower? It's up to you, Sora. And we're like, let's go! Okay, let's fly there together. So we decided to go to the clock tower. And rather than just taking us to the clock tower like it normally does, it triggers this cutscene where we're just flying, like minding our own business. And all of a sudden, don't you just hate it when you're flying over London and then a big pile of rags decides to come and attack you? Yep, that's exactly what happens. This is why you should never go to Big Ben. Anyway, so this is the Phantom, one of the harder bosses in the game. Not because he's actually, like, difficult, it's just that it's so hard to be consistent with him. You see here that Peter Pan has that number that's counting down above his head. The way to stop that countdown is to cast Stop on the clock. That's why I had that equipped as a quick spell. And then to actually attack the Phantom, he has a ball that temporarily appears. And depending on the color is how you should attack him. If it's white, you just attack him with a physical attack. If it's blue, you use Blizzard. And if it's yellow, you use Thunder. If it's red, you use Fire. And you can hit him 3 times, or like, you can do 3 hits at a time before he, you know, runs around and tries to swipe at you or shoots this little dark ball at you. Which is why you want to have wind equipped, or wind magic on you at all times, or Aroga on you at all times, so that it basically deflects. However, this battle kind of ended in a failure, because it takes a long time. You can see I'm not doing very much damage, and then much later I just died. So, and that was like after 20-something minutes of fighting, and I was like so frustrated in the live commentary. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me! Because like that one missile hit me when my wind magic ran out. So I did it again, and this time I was a little bit more prepared. Because, you know, again I switched Peter Pan back into my party, but then I equipped some items on myself and on my teammates, which I never do. I just decided it was appropriate this time. For myself, I exchanged all of my items with elixirs, and all of my teammates' items with mega ethers, so that we'll always have a good supply of magic available to us, so that even when Goofy runs out of magic, he'll still have more to give to us. Because, you know, normally you recover magic by smacking things, but you can't really smack the Phantom. You know, you attack him with magic and you do like maybe 3 hits at most at one time. I'm speeding this up because this took forever. And also, afterwards, I equipped myself with a Keyblade that gives me extra magic. I think I equipped the Oathkeeper Keyblade. And yeah. So if you wanted to know what happens when that countdown goes all the way to 0 over your teammate's head, I think I demonstrated at the end of the fight. You'll probably be able to see it at the end of my rant. So, yeah. your friend actually dies. That's what happens. So like he goes away and you can't heal him and stuff. So anyways, I've talked for long enough. Here's the rant. Enjoy it or skip over it. Do what you like. Hey guys, it's 3:08 a.m. in the morning on this Lord's Day, May 24th, 2012. It is Thursday, and I really should be getting to sleep, and I can't for some reason. Maybe it has to do with, you know, how cold it is. Maybe it has to do with all those jelly beans I ate, but yeah, not really sure. So I thought I might as well use this time to kind of explain what I've been doing all this time. So to answer, I just got a message today, really yesterday technically, but from Master Riku asking me if I was taking a break, and yes, I am taking a break. However, this break was unintentional. I mean, I didn't mean for it to be this long, and I really didn't mean for it to happen at all. It was just one day where I just couldn't post stuff, I couldn't edit the videos, and it turned into 2 days, it turned into 3 days. It just kept going, and you know how it works with creative outlets. You know, the longer you go without doing something, the harder it is to do it. And it makes it even worse that the next episode that I gotta upload is one that I actually have to post-commentate, which I kind of figured I'm gonna be putting this over that, because, you know, the live commentary I made at the time was just total garbage. The video is way too long, too monotonous, so we needed a way to spice it up. The glitch that I have in there should spice it up a little bit, but I thought I might as well just talk about what's going on. So speaking of creative outlets, yeah, I don't know, so when I was taking a break, while I was taking a break, I guess I'm still on break kind of, but anyways, I digress. So while all this happened, I was just doing a lot of thinking, so to speak, because I've been off school for the past week or so, so I've just been lazing about, been playing a lot of video games. Yes, I've still been playing video games, haven't been making videos. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but I've been thinking about like picking up some other creative outlets that I've worked on in the past that I've never really done anything major with. I mean, this YouTube channel is pretty much the most famous thing I've ever done, and I got like, what, 30 subscribers? So I'm kind of flicking my own balls there. But, you know, I was thinking of going back into writing. It's, you know, I have a few projects in the works, you know, a novel and some screenplays and stuff. But I also have to write an essay for next week because I just have my final next week. I don't have school at all until then, but I still have the final, and final itself is going to be a joke, but I'll have an essay due that day. But other things I want to write, like, I want to write some actual D&D adventures, as nerdy as that sounds. I am quite possibly the definition of nerd, if you look it up in a dictionary. But yeah, I do play D&D. I don't think it's anything I've talked about on this channel. My friends know, but for those of you who don't, I do play D&D. I have a group of friends that we meet up every couple of weeks, actually. So we met up this past Monday, just hanging out in one of their garages, having an epic adventure. And our dungeon master, Steve, he's a really good storyteller, and I kind of wanted to make an adventure like he did, because, I mean, I can't remember the last time when someone has actually told me a story. Like, that's basically what D&D is. It's an interactive story, but, like, you know, describing things and just in such a way that I was actually terrified. You know, the adventure we were going on was like, I don't know, we're looking for a timepiece for some reason. We're trying to bring it to, we're doing some investigation, that's what we're doing, and we found clues about this timepiece with a ruby arm, and when we found a couple pieces of it, like, it was in 4 pieces, and we found 2 of the pieces, and we put them together, and it teleported us through time, took us back to the past, where, you know, like, it was in a place where we didn't even recognize, and we found, like, our arch nemesis there, but he didn't know that we were out there to kill him. You know, we were hunting him, but he didn't know. And then, like, we found a 3rd piece, and then we went forward in time, but no one could see us for some reason. And then we went forward in time again to this, like, apocalyptic island it was almost like it's like, and there was like full of zombies, like not actual zombies, undead zombies, but like these people have gone like completely crazy. Like, have you ever played BioShock? You know, the splicers. It's kind of like those people. These guys are just like totally nuts. Like, you know, we caught them in a cloud of vomiting gas, and then three of them go in, and two of them come out, and one of them is on the ground with his head missing, and the other one has a knife, and it's like, okay. And then there was like these squid tentacles coming out of the ground and stuff. It was terrifying, is straight up what it is. There's this thing that reminded me of Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, stuff like that. But yeah, I kind of wanted to do writing like that. It was pretty epic stuff. Also, this week is my last week of work. Last week is technically my last week where I actually was doing work. Now I'm just setting stuff up for the person who's gonna take over for me, and things like that. What other? I'm also enrolled in an art class this summer, just because like I need it for a general education requirement for when I transfer out from junior college to UC San Diego. So that I need to knock that out of the way. I might as well do it at JC where it's cheap and during the summer when it's easy, stuff like that. Speaking of summer, and that's not even going to take up a lot of my time. I'm thinking of what else I should do this summer besides making videos and taking class and playing D&D. I was thinking of maybe I'd work out, and that's a huge maybe. It's very unlikely that I would, because I've never worked out in my entire life. Any sort of physical toning that I've done for myself has just been like through playing sports and everyday activity. I might, since it's summer, I might go down to the beach and go surfing. Picked up surfing this year, so it's a lot of fun. So I might go down and actually finally buy myself a surfboard so that I can get into it, because the wetsuit I have is not for the winter, but that's when I started to learn. So I'd be going there, like going to the beach at like 7, 8 in the morning, freezing my legs off, because you know the wetsuit only goes down to right above my knees and up to my elbows, so like when I'm done I'm just not able to feel anything. Probably doing a lot of reading too, because something I noticed, like I've been taking a literature class this semester, and all the reading I've been doing is just, you know, anything that I've read has been enlightening, to say the least. I'm kind of, because before, like, I used to read a lot, but I used to read like very like single-mindedly, like, you know, the Harry Potter series. I just read Harry Potter. That's all I'd read. I'd read Harry Potter, read Harry Potter. When I'm done reading Harry Potter, I'd read the next one. I'd read it over again, you know. And but like all these other like random books, like I just go to the bookstore or the library and just pick a book off the shelf and start reading it. And yeah, I don't know. It's just made me realize how terrible I am at reading, honestly. Like, I read almost slower than I write, which is weird, because like, I mean, I could read pretty fast. I can speed read, or like read aloud very quickly, but I don't process anything that I've read and have to go back and read it more slowly. So yeah, I might do a lot of that too. But as for this channel, for future LPs, I was thinking of what I should do. Master Rico also asked me a question if I was going to be doing the rest of the Kingdom Hearts games, and I definitely considered it. I'm pretty sure that in the future I'm going to be doing Kingdom Hearts 2, but I'm contemplating whether or not to do Chain of Memories, which is the first sequel. You know, Kingdom Hearts 2 is not the original sequel to Kingdom Hearts 1. There is Chain of Memories, which takes place between 1 and 2. And I feel like, you know, to have a proper experience of Kingdom Hearts, you have to play Chain of Memories before you play Kingdom Hearts 2. But the thing is that Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories is not as fun a game as the first one. And the other thing is, if I choose to play Chain of Memories, there's two versions of it. There's one on the Game Boy Advance and one on the PlayStation 2. And I could easily play either one. I have both of them. But I haven't beaten the PlayStation version. I guess I could go ahead and do that. But I don't know. I feel like the Game Boy version is my original experience with Chain of Memories. But the other thing about Chain of Memories is that, well, we'll get to it when we get to it, if we get to it, but like, it's very unoriginal. Like, in regular Kingdom Hearts, and Kingdom Hearts 2, and the only Kingdom Hearts I've actually played are those three, 1, 2, and Chain of Memories. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, compared to the others, the story doesn't progress very quickly. You know, you go through a Disney World, and it's basically a rehash of the original Kingdom Hearts version, except replace the word heart with the word memory, honestly. And every after you beat a world, then the story progresses a little bit. But like, the world can often take a long time, and the combat system's really weird, so you spend a lot more time leveling up, or I did at least. Spent a lot more time leveling up than I did in the other two games. But like I said before, Kingdom Hearts 2 is a definite, and actually, when I do that, I'm going to be playing the Final Mix version, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which actually was released only in Japan. However, there is a patch for it that was created by something like Xeno something. I forgot what his name is, but he created a patch that turns it completely into English, and is actually a very good patch. I've played through it. I've almost beaten it, kind of. I've beaten the main game, but then there's a whole bunch of like bonus stuff, bonus enemies, bonus missions, and bonus bosses, and stuff like that. And it's actually very, very hard. Like, the maximum level in Kingdom Hearts games is 100, as it is in Final Fantasy games, I believe. But like, I'm right now on like level 85 in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, and I still can't beat half of the bonus bosses there. And then there's other games that I was thinking of LPing as well. There's already one that I've decided I'm going to do a blind LP of. And I kind of, from here on, I wanted to do 2 games at once, so that like if I get bored of one game, I can kind of switch it up and move to the other one. I mean, I know I've been making those TF2 videos, and I still plan on doing so, but, you know, with the TF2 videos, it's just like a one-time thing. It's not really an LP. I wanted to do like another legitimate LP, so I might do this blind LP and then another Kingdom Hearts video, because I know Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, the new one, is coming up soon. So maybe I should probably try and beat all the Kingdom Hearts games by then, which is going to be very difficult because there's a lot of them. There's this one, Chain of Memories, 2, 358 over 2 days, Birth by Sleep, and half of those I haven't even played. So it's going to be hard, to say the least, but it's going to be during the summer when I'm not very busy. Well, I'm kind of worried about when I actually transfer to go to the university, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff I want to do there. I don't want to just sit in my room and just make videos the whole time. You know, I want to get involved in clubs, activities, and yeah, of course I'm going to be much busier with classes, because right now I only have like 2, and there I'm going to have at least 4 at a time, and they're going to be harder classes. They're going to be a shorter amount of time to cover the same amount of material. I'm going to be really, really busy with stuff like that. But then again, you know, what Benjamin Franklin or whoever it was said, you know, if you want to get something done, give it to the busy man. So I have a feeling that the more productive I am, the more I'll be able to do things like this, like doing more videos. Like, right now, like, I haven't made a video in the past week, and I had nothing to do. Like, honestly, like, I had nothing to do. Like, I talked to people, and I slept. I've been feeling really lethargic lately, and it's kind of bothering me, so, and look at me, I'm up at 3:20 in the morning doing nothing. This is retarded. But I still do have kind of work to do. I have to make some tutorials for the person who's gonna follow up on me, but that's not gonna take very long. It's gonna take like a couple hours tops. What else have I been doing? Oh yeah, I just fixed my brother's computer. I mean, see, my brother, I built my own computer. You know, built it from parts that I bought online. You know, I specified the parts because my computer before this Dream Machine that I have, it was like a crappy E-Machines. Like, it originally ran Windows ME, and then, you know, I stuck with it until Windows XP, and I started to try and, that's when I first tried to make videos, or like tried to edit videos on my own computer. I didn't make LPs at the time. I was making like, you know, regular videos, but like rendering was such a processor intensive sort of thing. Like, my computer would overheat, and I ran the computer to the ground. Like, the last thing it was just when my computer literally caught fire. Like, it was burning, and I had to extinguish it with, you know, carbon dioxide. It's crazy. So then after that, I got, you know, a third-hand laptop from my dad, and that also kind of died. And it had problems to begin with, like the language kept changing and the buttons kept reconfiguring themselves. It was weird. Like I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. And then I bought another laptop from a friend for a couple $100, and then that one also, like, I mean, it worked. I still have it. It still works, but I hate it. I hate it because it's an HP, and HP is, like, in my opinion, the worst company that makes laptops that's well known. I mean, they're good at packing a lot of stuff into a little amount of space, but their computers overheat like hell. And then eventually I was just fed up with it, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna build my own computer, and it's gonna be the greatest thing I've ever used. And indeed it was. You know, I got myself a i5 core processor, blah 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 blah. It's like a really good computer. I can run all the current games at top graphics, and it probably will for another few months before it becomes, you know, second level. So, but my brother wanted me to build him a computer as well. He didn't want it to. He didn't need it to be, you know, as top of the line as mine. Just like, you know, a little bit less of a processor. So I gave him enough to play the games that he wanted to play. He just specified, like, these are the games I want to play. I don't want to play them with at top graphics. I'm like, okay, I can do that for you. So I got him the parts and in the case and stuff like that, and I put it together about 6 months ago, and it didn't work. Like, it turned on, all the fans are running, and the graphics card fan was running, and the CPU was running, and all that was happening, but then nothing was going on. And there's no image on the monitor. So then I changed the monitor, still nothing had happened. I changed the RAM slot, and nothing happened. And eventually I isolated every single possibility, like every single problem, until I was like, oh no, it's probably the motherboard. So then I pulled off the motherboard, and like, you know, I was about to call for a replacement until I realized when I had actually removed it from the case and set it onto some cardboard, I decided to just like touch the power pins together, and it turned on and it worked. So then I realized the problem was with the case, and not just the case, it was just a couple of screws. You know, when you put a motherboard into a computer, you have to mount it on some golden screws just to keep it from touching the case. Well, the irony was that I had too many screws in there, and there's two that were actually causing a short in the motherboard, which was a really amateur mistake. And it, you know, after I'd isolated a couple problems, you know, 6 months ago, I decided to sit on that project. My brother went back to San Francisco, and I still couldn't fix the computer, and I decided just to give up on it. And then, you know, several months later, I picked it up again. I'm like, oh, let's just see if I can figure out what's wrong with this, because it's like, you know, $600, $700 worth of computer that's just sitting there wasting away. So then I figured it out. I fixed it, set everything up, gave him the operating system, so now it's ready to go back to him. So I'm glad that that's just off my back right now. Yeah, and that's about it. So I don't know what else to talk about. I guess I could talk a little bit about the novel I was writing. The thing about this novel that I'm writing is that it makes me feel like a running Family Guy joke. You know, remember when Stewie just, I don't remember what the circumstances are, but like Stewie just goes up to Brian and it's like, hey, why don't you talk about that novel you're working on? You know, when friends become enemies become friends? Yeah, it makes you feel like that guy. Like, it makes me feel like Brian in that situation, because like, I've been writing this novel, and you know, the thing is that like, it's a very heavy thing. Like, I have the whole story just planned out in my head. Like, I have the main plot points and things that I want to happen. The only problem is, like, and the problem I have with writing stories in general, like the problem I had when I was in my screenwriting class and things like that, was just details. You know, I can get the major points down, I can see like, okay, this leads to that, this leads to that, but all the details there, the character development, you know, making things believable, making things enjoyable to read, that sort of stuff, it's just very, I don't know, it's difficult for me. I'm better at writing outlines and summaries than I am at writing actual dialogue and stuff, and it always just feels awkward to me. But, and the other problem it has is just like, that's completely discouraged me from writing this, is just over the years, like I've had this idea in my head for a very long time. It's developed over the years a little bit, but the idea itself has been in my head for like 5-6 years now. And you know, it's a fantasy fiction novel, and I didn't realize it at the time, but like a lot of fantasy fiction sort of stuff has the same sort of running motifs. You know, you got magic and you got things like that. I'm trying to put a unique twist on it using like spirits and stuff like that. How the source of magic are spirits. This was before I played Final Fantasy, by the way, but like it was a unique way. It was different than Final Fantasy. But then along comes Avatar: The Last Airbender and just ruins everything for me. It's just like, oh, this is almost exactly like what the concept of my idea is. They're like this one guy who has the power of all the elements, except I had 7 instead of 4. But yeah. And then I realized that you know, the way that, you know, every idea is just a conglomeration of other ideas. So it's not about how original your idea is, but how original your putting together of the idea is. So like the Avatar stuff, that all worked well, but I feel like I can make it work well as well. I can make it work well too, just in a different way, and make it seem different and unique. And the problem that I was having with that too is like, am I writing for others or for myself? I mean, no one's read what I've worked on so far, and I haven't really posted it at all, like anywhere. I've shown a couple people like the first page, and they all said it was good, and that encouraged me to write more. But yeah, I don't really care who reads it. I guess the actual writing of it, the being productive, knowing that I have some work to show for myself, makes it all better. And I guess that's what makes this channel good too. It's just that I'm actually doing something and I'm getting feedback and people are actually enjoying it. And someone actually came up to me, but like someone actually asked me when I stopped posting is, when are you going to post more? And that's definitely a motivating factor. So I'd like to thank everyone who's done that. So I guess it's going to end this late night rant that I have. Hopefully it's enough to fill the video. You know what, I'll just make it fit. So yeah, I think I should probably go to bed now or something. So good night, everyone. Alright, and I'm back. So yeah, that was a pretty decent length rant that I had right there. It was pretty late at night, so you'll excuse me if my voice was too low. So I spent the rest of this video just kind of flying around here just to waste time for a little bit more explanation. It looks like I timed it pretty well. So and then after I beat the Phantom, I just went to the gummy ship and did my regular outro. But before I end this video, there is something that I want to show you. So look at here. This actually happened during like the second fight against the Phantom. And yeah, basically it kind of speaks for itself. The entire background and the clock kind of disappeared, and it wasn't my emulation software, I don't think. It just happened by itself. I didn't press anything on my keyboard because I play with a controller. So then just randomly everything just disappeared, and I thought that the Phantom was doing something like crazy that I'd never seen before, like some intense move that made the whole screen go dark. And just this whole situation just kind of terrified me. This is what it was. It was just like, oh my god, what's going on? What's gonna happen to me? But I continued to fight like this, and it pretty much was the same. The clock is still there. Like if you walk into the, you can't walk through it, so you still have to play like it is still there, and like the background's still there. But it is really disorienting, and I tried to recreate it, trying to see how it happened, but I couldn't figure it out. But anyways, that's enough, guys. Tune in next time when we tackle the Hades Cup. And did you guys already know it's called the Hades Cup? Well, whatever. Tackle the next cup at the Coliseum. Tune in then.